Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Make sure you smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So here I come to you guys today with some very good news about Donald Trump and the 2022 midterms and the 2024 election, and why exactly this is a groundbreaking revelation. And that is that Donald Trump is preparing to restart his Trump rallies. He's going to hold some Trump rallies as early as May, which would be next month, and he will announce if he is running for president after the 2022 midterm races conclude. So we're going to talk about the midterms. We're going to talk a little bit about 2024 as well. But the truth is that Donald Trump's presence campaigning for Republicans in certain states, obviously he has to pick his battles. You don't want to go into Massachusetts, obviously, and hold a rally for Charlie Baker. That would be a waste of time, waste of resources. And you also probably don't want to go into states like Virginia, where you're hated, and campaign for the pro-Trump candidate in Virginia, because they're probably going to lose anyways. But there are a lot of states like, I would say, North Carolina, where Trump has a very big base, Wisconsin, where Trump has a very big base, even Arizona to a lesser extent. Everybody says that Arizona gets this rap of being a neocon establishment state, but at the same time, if you look at the primary in 2016, Donald Trump won the Arizona primary convincingly over Ted Cruz. So that's not entirely true. But we'll see what happens in terms of 2022. I think it's a very good thing that Trump is going to be holding rallies, because you look at some of these states like Wisconsin, they were extremely close. If Donald Trump gets out all of the Trump base in the state of Wisconsin, you have a very good chance at unseating Tony Evers. Obviously, if Biden's going to go down there and hold a rally for Tony Evers, I don't think he would. It really wouldn't impact things whatsoever. Obviously, some other high-profile Democrats might do so, but nobody really brings the energy to a voting bloc in this country other than Donald Trump and just an American flag in the background holding a campaign rally, because that can drive 20,000, 50,000 people to his event that is going to promote another candidate. It's also partially why I think Republicans didn't get completely shellacked in the 2018 midterms. It's also why we have a Senator Hawley, a Senator Kramer, a Senator Rick Scott, a Governor DeSantis. Without Trump's rallies, without Trump's support, you would not have had Ron DeSantis get elected as governor. And by the way, Donald Trump won the state of Florida by 3 to 4% in the 2020 election. And that probably is going to be bumped up to 7 or 8, given Ron DeSantis at a very minimum, even with the Democrats trying to pour all their money and resources trying to unseat him. It's hilarious. They tried to slander Ron DeSantis with their DeSantis derangement syndrome, and they give him nicknames like Ron Death Santis, except they don't realize that that's kind of badass. That's kind of epic that they're calling him that. If anything, that should be something that he would use to his advantage. So Ron DeSantis, Teflon Ron, nothing can exactly bring him down. All of the ridiculous press that he gets and the framing that we saw in 60 Minutes and all of that, Ron DeSantis, he's going to be just fine. But you look at the electoral map here, Donald Trump would definitely help out in a place like Iowa, where there's a congressional district that you need to flip. He'll help out, obviously, in Ohio, and really across the country. He brings the energy. So the fact that he's going to be holding campaign rallies right now is extremely important for the Republican Party in 2022 and beyond, because there's a lot of people that say, well, about 2024, he shouldn't run, he's old news, he's going to be 78, and he would be at risk of losing because Ron DeSantis would do better among suburbanites or something like that. And I don't think he's too old. He's based, he's epic, he's a Chad, he's an honorary Zoomer, he's got high energy. That's not the problem. I think that in terms of electability, I think if he's running against Harris, which he most likely would, I think that the suburbs would probably stagnate. If anything, they would bounce back in many instances, especially in the Midwest. And even if the national environment stays the same, he is going to win the election. And I will show you why in a minute, but I wanted to point out the fact that this is not a new report talking about running for president after the midterm races conclude. Obviously, if the Republicans get shellacked in the midterms or something like that, I don't think he would want to run. That is pretty much common knowledge, but Reuters also reported on this a while back as well, saying Trump to decide on whether to make another White House run after the 2022 midterms. So that is true. That is true. It probably will come down to that. But look at the electoral map, 2024. Adjusting for the electoral votes, it would be 235 already. Trump's not going to lose any states if you just apply the national trend. North Carolina trended to the right compared to the national environment. If you want to look at the trend in North Carolina, we could go down to North Carolina. It trended to the right by 0.05%. Don't get confused with the blue, because U.S. Elections Atlas has blue for Republican and red for Democrat. So North Carolina was one of the closest states that Trump won. He's not going to lose it. Florida, if anything, is going to get even redder in 2024. But besides the point, looking at this election map, what about Wisconsin? Wisconsin here, if you look at Wisconsin trended to the right by 1%. Trump only lost it by 0.63%. Automatically, Wisconsin would be a flip. Nevada, also, if you look at Nevada and the trend you see in Nevada, also the DNC is in shambles. Apply the trend. Trump wins Nevada. Now, if you want to look at the state of Pennsylvania, applying the trend completely wouldn't get you there, but you have to understand the fact that Biden had the home state appeal to the northeastern part of the state, and Harris wouldn't have that. So Trump likely would win the state of Pennsylvania. That would automatically get him to 270 electoral votes. We're not even accounting for any suburban shift in places like Arizona back to Trump if Harris is the nominee. We're not accommodating for Biden's trade policies and immigration policies and how they would affect a state like Michigan. No, we're not even accounting for any of that, because all that matters. But looking at this map right here, if Donald Trump was to run, and even if he runs his campaign in the fashion that he ran it in 2020, which was not up to par, in my opinion, and I will do a video in the future about what I think Trump needs to do in 2024 in order to win, because I would have done a lot different than he would have done in 2020, and we will look into that for sure, probably within a video within the next couple of weeks or so. But just applying the trends and the home state factor, Trump gets to 270 under the new map, and that's incredible. And that would entail losing the popular vote by 4.5% to Harris, which I don't believe he would do. Obviously, if you want to say that he would lose the popular vote by maybe 2% or so, he probably would get Arizona off the bat. He probably would get Michigan off the bat. New Hampshire, they hate incumbents, but I don't know if it would bounce back by 7. Georgia seems to be trending in the opposite direction. But it's true, Trump-Harris voters are not going to exist. People that voted for Trump in 2020 are not going to turn around and vote for Kamala Harris in 2024, at least in any meaningful capacity. You may have a few here and there, but it would be probably less than 1% of all Trump voters. And Texas would stay in his column. Obviously, Florida would stay in his column. He's not going to lose any states. He's already got a high floor. So if he flips back Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Nevada, which, by the way, I think will vote to the right of Arizona in 2024, even if Donald Trump does win the state of Arizona. And this, again, assumes that Trump loses the popular vote by 4.5%, which I don't expect to happen. I think he'd have a shot to win it against Kamala Harris. If you look at the shift that you could see in places like California, if upstate New York reverts back to where it was even in 2016, and Trump continues to make gains with Hispanics, that definitely will bode well. It will benefit Trump in his favor. And looking at Hispanic voters and how they approve of the Biden administration, remember we heard the fact that Trump did so well with Hispanics because he was the incumbent president, which is not entirely true. Reagan did worse in 1984 than he did in 1980, despite the fact he did much better nationwide in 1984. But you could look at this. 44% of Hispanics disapprove of the job that Biden is doing. In fact, it's roughly in line with the population of this poll, which, by the way, is an election mafia poll. Take it with a grain of salt. I really don't believe Biden has a 54% approval rating. He may have like a 49. I don't think he's got a 54. But if Biden is at 53% with Hispanics, that is a disaster because he likely got 63, 64% in the election in 2020. If he's going to cut that down to 53%, it's not going to bode very well. Now, some of that may be left-wing Hispanics disagreeing with him on the border policy, but Hispanics don't care about immigration as much as the media likes to portray, so I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not. But if Trump runs again and gets 40% of the Hispanic vote, that would help him out in terms of the popular vote for sure. Would help him out in a place like California, would help him out even more so in Texas, Arizona, obviously, New Mexico a little bit. Probably not going to win New Mexico. I think DeSantis might be able to win New Mexico because I think he has Hispanic appeal. And also, I think that he's also got suburban appeal. And there's a lot of suburban whites in Albuquerque that you do need to win in order to win the state of New Mexico. If Republicans are going to win the Hispanic vote in the state, that's not necessarily going to be enough, even though the state is plurality Hispanic in terms of the electorate. So keep all this in mind, but I think Trump's got a fairly good shot at winning in 2024. It seems as if he is going to consider running for president in 2024. It seems like all of that hinges on the midterms, and he's going to go out there and rally for the midterm candidates, help the Republicans take back the House and probably the Senate as well. So we'll see what happens next fall, but until then, it's encouraging to see Donald Trump go out there and say that he is going to be campaigning for these candidates. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. Links in description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.